Welcome back to Mercedes-Benz of Scottsdale. I'm Steve Smith. We're right across the street from Fashion Square Mall. Again, we're at Camelback and Scottsdale Road. Let's get started. If you know me, if you've ever seen any of the videos I've ever done, I always talk about Mercedes-Benz S-Class is the pinnacle of what we do. I might just have to change that with the advent of this new car. This is the GT 63 AMG S version. Let's talk about some of the outside features, but the engine is what impresses me more than anything else. Night package, you've seen it before. It blacks out all the trim in the mirrors. This is going to have black wheels. You're going to have black fascia on the front. This is the Pan Americana grille. We took that from my 1950s style Gullwing cars, and we brought it back into the new GT cars. You'll start to see it on a lot of the AMGs. You'll see it on the C63, you'll see it on the GTs, and of course you'll see it on the GT63. This car, ladies and gentlemen, this car is the fastest car to ever turn a lap at the Nürburgring with 4 doors. This car is 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Motor Trend took it out to the airport. They took it out on the tarmac. They played with some of our sensors and figured, and they said they got it down to 2.9 seconds, 0 to 60. This thing is fast. So let's get going. Driver Sis Package, you're familiar with that. The full LEDs are active, but this car has 630 horsepower. Get that, 630 horsepower, 664 foot-pound of torque. This thing will burn the rubber off the tires. The brakes are huge, 4 piston calipers, just like the other AMGs, but this car has something called AMG Dynamic 4MATIC. So you have the 4MATIC that also has a drift mode. You also have rear wheel steering, just like you do on the GTR or the GTCs. That same system is at work here. Wow, this car is gorgeous. It might look a little bit in terms of shape like something you've ever seen before that kind of had a P, begins with it. Yeah, you know that car. Well, this car is a lot lighter. It's similar in shape, but that's the only thing they have in common. Again, this is the fastest car to ever turn a lap at the Nürburgring. I'm gonna say that over and over again until you get tired of me hearing saying it, because this thing is beautiful. Hand-built engine, twin turbo V8. It's a 4-liter twin turbo. We call it bi-turbo, which means 2, so I just say twin turbo. But it's a bi-turbo, 630 horsepower V8. This car has a lot of things to talk about. This one has, we'll get into it when we get inside, has the 3D sound system in there. It's 1100 watts, about 18 speakers in there. It is tremendous. So if you want to buy a Mercedes, you want to buy something that is the pinnacle of racing technology, this is it. A lot of the features on this car has trickled down from our Formula One race team. They've won Formula One 5 out of the last 6 years, and we've dominated, not only in first place, but first and second place. So let's do this. Let's talk about a few of the features out here. You're looking at 21-inch wheels here. These are the monoblock wheel set. These wheels are unique. You won't see them anywhere else. They're definitely a acquired taste, but I love them. What you're gonna notice too, when you open the door, it's always frameless, right? But it's super lightweight. You won't notice because all aluminum package, all aluminum outside, and again, the high-strength steel that we always talk about is enhanced inside of this car. But let's do this. Let's get inside, because I can't wait to talk to you about some of the features inside. Come on, let's jump in. Welcome everyone. We're now sitting inside of the 2019 GT63 S version. As I mentioned again, this is the fastest version of the GT, 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, but you've got to sit inside this car to really appreciate what Mercedes-Benz has done. These seats are the Recaro style seating with the bolsters built in. This is the exclusive black Nappa. When you heard me use the term exclusive, that is the hand-stitched custom leather that you normally would see on an S-Class. They took that stitching, that leather, and they added the Alcantara suede in the center, and you see the red contrast stitching along with the red seat belts to go along with it. They've really stepped up on the interior of this car to make it comfortable as well as functional. These are your buttons. So you have your traction control on off button. You have your suspension mode button here. So you can adjust the suspension on the fly for whatever type of driving you feel like at this time. I've driven this car, ladies and gentlemen. I have driven this car, and my first impression of this car was it's angry. This car just screams power. When you step on the gas, it just goes. It's more aggressive than even I think the GTR. Because the GTR, again, if you get into the lower modes, it's not going to give you all that power unless you ask for it. This thing, it just wants to go all the time. Even if you're in comfort mode, it still seems like it just wants to growl and just get out there and go. I love this car. I love this car a lot. Again, you have your manual modes here. So you have your driving dynamics, you still have your sport, comfort, but they add a couple modes. They add race and they add slippery in this car. So you have, you know, if you're in on the road and you have all of this horsepower, you need to be able to have the traction control be able to be adjusted for the rain. You know, you get high performance tires, you need to be able to adjust those things. So not only can you drive it on the track, not only can you drive on the street, but if you're driving day to day, every day, you're still going to be smooth and comfortable in this car. It is a multi-clutch 9-speed transmission. So we've had the dynamic 9-speed transmission we have in every other car. Well, guess what? We had a multi-clutch 7-speed transmission in the other AMGs. Now we have multi-clutch 9-speed transmission. Super smooth. It just makes shifting gears almost innocuous. You really don't feel it as they smooth. However, if you're in Sport Plus mode, all bets are off. You're going to feel it and you're going to enjoy it. All right. So again, going back to these buttons here, this is volume control for the radio. This turns off your start-stop feature for the, say, fuel. If you're driving this car, you might want to turn off more than often. This is for your rear spoiler, this button here. So it raises and lowers the rear spoiler for performance reasons, or just if you just like to have it up or down, you like to see it at some point. And then this is the race exhaust. So this is the upgrade exhaust where you can go from a static exhaust to a race style exhaust. And the exhaust note is wonderful on this car. When you press this button and you start the car, it is the most lovely sound I've ever heard in the world. Okay. Again, we've switched over to the haptic touchpad. So you still have a touchpad. We used to have the controller here, and then we had a touchpad that was more like almost like a glass or plastic style top that you could touch and use to control the features inside the center console. This is more like almost a rubber type pad, and it's very sensitive. It even clicks to the touch. So it feels more alive, more in tune with what you're doing. It's more sensitive, and it just gives you more feel. So when you're changing things and you're driving down the road, you can feel what's going on. So you don't really have to focus much of your line of sight on the screen when you're driving a high performance vehicle like this. You definitely want to be looking up the road as where you're going. The feature on this car, like I said, I can go on and on, but one of the things I always like to talk about is the piano wood trim. We call this piano lacquer. It's black lacquer wood trim. It's the same wood trim they would use to make grand pianos out of. So that is part of the steering wheel here. Flat bottom, of course, is sport, and you do have the leather grippings here. Just like any other Mercedes, you're going to have the touchpads here. So the touchpad on the left controls the screen in front. Touchpad on the right controls this 12.3 screen here. Your cruise control here is no more. Again, we've moved to the system here so you can resume and cancel and set the speed, as well as turn on and off your lane keeping features. And of course, you have your voice control, your favorites, volume control, as well as your hang up and dial, and your home button and your back button here. But this is an AMG. This is the 630 horsepower twin turbo V8 GT63S. You're going to have the dynamic controls here. So this is going to, you can turn off your cruise control. You can set the sport suspension here, and you can set all your driving modes without taking your hands off the steering wheel. So you wouldn't have to scroll through the screen to get them there. You can get them here at a moment's notice. It's much quicker. It's direct. You're right there. Right now, I just move it from Sport Plus to Sport. And then, of course, you can say, hey, I want to get up the road. I'm in Sport Plus mode here. So I go Sport Plus to Sport Plus, and now I'm getting everything this car has to offer. You can really play with it, mix and match it. So you've got the ultimate sound system. We replaced both Harman Kardon and Bang & Olufsen with the sound system of the Burmester. So you've got 1100 watts, 18 speakers of just awesome sound. But me, the sound I like the best is the sound of this 630 horsepower engine. That's my favorite sound. But there's so much with this car. I could go on and just wax ecstatic about it. But I'm going to stop here. But I just want to let you know, you've got to come see this car. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, it's Steve Smith. I'm still effusive about this car over at Mercedes-Benz of Scottsdale, right across from Fashion Square. Have a great day. Come see me. I'd love to show you this one.